morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, welcome to this morning's main market review. My name is Josh FX. I'm going to be our pilot for today. It's wonderful having you around. Interesting. All right, so yes, as it is, the normal custom and rule for me, I'm going to acknowledge everybody online now. So for those that are also joining us, they're able to join before then. They will hear me acknowledging them. So first on the list is Adebola Adeyemi. I can see Alibode Isedu, Alexandra Umbunabu. I can see Alfonso Sikediashi. I can see Ambassador Kayode Ishola. Okay, I can see Aremu. I can see Anyu Felix. I can see Babatunde Ebenezer. I can see Brown Akinola. I can see Edidion. I can see Enu Villanus. I can see Daniel Oladipupo. I can see Fadari Solomon. I can see Femi Ayola. I can see Inola Jimo Roof Teller. I can see Kalu. I can see Mandu Timothy. I can see Mr. Clinton, Nnamdi Mbata, yes. I can see Oladakpos. I can see Olamide Olowo, yes. I can see Oluremi Ajibola, okay. I can see Solomon Oni. I can see Thomas Lafidon. I can see Uchechuku. I can see Uzoma. I can see Victoria Ewauchi. Okay, so I hope I pronounced everybody's name the right way, but if I didn't pronounce your name the right way, please kindly bear with me. You understand? But all the same, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's market review. It's interesting, it's fun having you around. All right, so first thing first, just to follow the same drill. Okay, let's see. Okay, so on the chat now, I'm beginning to receive. Okay, good morning, Mr. Femi Ayola. Good morning, Mr. Kalu. Good morning, Anyu Felix. All right, so it means you can hear me from your own end, but to still make it fair, yeah, I'll still need the response of loud and clear, just that. Once I'm able to get loud and clear, okay, thank you very much, Anyu Felix, loud and clear, Femi Ayola, loud and clear, Brown Akiola, loud and clear. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So it means you all can hear me from your own end. So if you're unable to hear me from where you are, I'll kindly advise you switch off your device, you on it, on your data again, or you change your location where you are. So yeah, so once in a while you discover that there are some certain points you might stand and the network might not be that clear there. So just change your location. Yeah, thank you very much, Aremu, loud and clear. I appreciate that too. Thank you very much. So this is what we're going to do. We all know the drill, but I'm still going to repeat it, which is we start by looking at the fundamental aspect of the market, after which we move straight to the technical part of the market. And once we are done with that, opportunities will be given to us. You just go to the chat section, drop your questions there for me, or the instrument you want me or you want us to look at. Now, okay, so there are times that we allow you to also speak, but you see, sometimes we might not have the opportunity of doing that because time might be against us. You understand? Time waits for no one. So in process of checking some of the questions that will be dropped or instrument that will be dropped on the chat for us to look at, we might not have the opportunity of requesting that you speak. So for that reason, I'll kindly advise that please come to the chat section and drop your questions for me there. Just drop your questions for me there so I can see it. And if you're dropping the questions for me or the instrument you want us to look at, if you're dropping it for me, you drop it, send the message directly to me. You understand? That will be the best part. Okay? So thank you very much. So first thing first, I will be sharing my screen now. So we'll start and we'll look at the news, fundamental part of the market, what is happening today fundamentally. Let's see what we're expecting today fundamentally. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. So, yes, I want to believe everybody is able to see my screen from their own end now. Yes, I want to believe everybody is able to see my screen from their own end. So, yes, as of yesterday, we had some news coming out. Yes, we had some news coming out. We had news coming out on euros. You understand? So 815 euros for the French flash manufacturing PMI. Then by 8:30, we also had news coming out on German flashing manufacturing PMI. You understand? All these instruments paired with euros, you understand, the ones that moved. In fact, on the actual, it came out good as at 8:15, 8:32 was still okay. Black and green, yes. As at 9 p.m., that's still okay. Black and green is still okay. But from 9:30, it came out with red and green. And you see, whenever you see the actual coming out as red and green, it's telling you to buy and sell at the same time, which is not it's not we don't advise you to trade such. Then the news by 1:30, the unemployment claims and the Philly Fed manufacturing index came out negative for the USD. But that particular news did not really move the market. The one that really moved was by 2:45 that came out good. That's the flash manufacturing PMI and the flash service PMI. It came out good for USD. And we saw the reaction there. As at 3 p.m., we had existing home sales. That's for and you see the actual also came out green, showing that the information that was released on USD from 2:45 to 3 p.m. was good. Then we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. Yeah, that's more of a speech that will be given or said. All right. So that was what happened yesterday. But we saw all this reaction on Euro USD, USD JPY, all the US pairs, you understand. Then for all the USD, yeah, the Euro USD pair actually moved yesterday because news came out both on euros and on USD, and you discuss different times at different times. So it affected that market on its own. All right. That's that for what happened yesterday fundamentally. But today we're going to be looking at what is going to happen. So for today, the first news we'll be having this morning is around, or today is around 1:30 p.m. That's on the Canadian dollar, talking about the core retail sales month to month and the retail sales month to month. Then by 3 p.m., we have the Fed chairman, Chair Powell, is going to be speaking. And just like we were saying, he said, the Fed chairman, with the Fed under pressure, Jerome Powell prepares for a high stakes speech. That was 10 hours ago. You understand? So it means today he's going to be speaking by 3 p.m. We should expect the market to move. So I'm also going to be advising that, okay, we keep our hands crossed, get ready for that particular speech, because by 3, there should be reaction on all USD pairs, you understand? Be it USD JPY, Euro USD, USD CHF, GBP USD, there should be a reaction on that instrument. And look at it again, by 5 p.m. today, President Trump is also going to be speaking. Now, can you see that that's all is making it going? In fact, I feel that the USD pairs or USD currency is going to really, really move today, because once Jerome Powell speaks by 3 and the market moves based on the pressure on them on Feds are under, then the president of US, who has also been a major influencer of the market, is also going to speak. And once he speaks, we all know what happens. He drives the market either to the upside or downside. But one thing is sure, the market will move. Then after that, we now have the day 2 all day. That's all day, which is on all currencies. I mean, Jackson Hole Symposium. That's also another information. It's just a speech, so we know speech is not something that you can measure a strength, but what you just see is the reaction. You see the reactions. And for some of this speech, and you might want to look out for opportunities of hearing some of the speech, like the Fed chairman speech. You can go to Bloomberg, you understand, CNBC and the likes. You have the opportunity of being able to listen to some of this information. And if you're on your chart as of that moment, you will see the reaction. Once the market begins to move up or move down, you know what to do next. Okay, so that's that on the news coming for today. So let's look at our currency strength meter and see the strength of the currencies as of this morning before we go into the market technically. Okay, so as of this morning, yeah, looking at it from my currency strength meter.org, it says, so based on what we're seeing, AUD, that's the Australian dollar, is currently the strongest of all as of this morning, followed by the Great Britain pounds. That's the next. Then we have the US dollars, but we can see that it's showing a red arrow, and it's showing that the US dollars is losing strength, followed by Canadian dollars, also giving us the same red arrow, meaning it is losing strength. But euros is on the same line with Canadian dollar without a red arrow on it. So it means on that note, we could say euros is a little bit ahead of Canadian dollar in terms of strength. Then we have the NZD, followed by JPY, and JPY also has the red arrow on it, showing that JPY is losing strength again. Then the weakest as of this morning is the Switzerland franc. That's the Switzerland Swiss. You understand? That's the currency for Switzerland, CHF. That's the weakest of them all as of this morning. So as of now, that's the information we have. But let's look at the market. If the market is not moving technically, how do we then trade the market? If the market is not moving through fundamentals as of this morning, how do we then trade it technically? So it means we're going to look at the market technically now and see what the market is going to do. Okay. And like we all know the drill, I start with what? Currencies. Euro USD as the first instrument we'll be looking at. All right. So we're on it. I'll see what is happening. Euro USD. Okay. On Euro USD now, we'll be looking at it on the higher time frame first. Let's see what is happening on the higher time frame. So based on what we're seeing from the daily time frame, look at it here now. I'm zooming out so we can see. Okay, so we discovered that price has actually gone up for a while. In fact, on Euro USD, look at it. It came down as low from beginning of the year since around, will I say 6th of January? I'm coming with us. Okay, I'm with us on this. So from beginning of this year, since on the 13th of January this year, the market started reversing up, and that's all we can see here. That's the candle. This is on daily time frame. It started reversing up, so we saw the uptrend. And when it got to this particular high now, as at the time it got to this particular high, yes, if I'm not wrong, yes, it's the high it got to. Let's see. Yes, okay. So on the D1, this is the high it got to, and as of the time it got to that high, it's respected that zone for a while now. Price has not gone back there. You understand? So there was a pullback and it tried going back, but no, came back down to this point. Now price has pushed back. Are we expecting it to move up? Now, if you look at it on the daily time frame, you discover that around this point, there's a zone here. There's a zone around this point. So it's two ways. I'm still on the daily time frame, please. So if price is able to break below this part, this is on daily time frame. If it's able to break below it, we should expect it to come down to this point. But if price gets rejected at this point, price could go back up. You understand? But let's look at it on the lower time frame to understand what is happening. So on the lower time frame now, this is on 1 hour. On the lower time frame, so I'm zooming out for us to see some things here. So here is it. This is on 1 hour. On 1 hour, yes, okay, so I'm readjusting here. Can we see where price is? Price got to that particular support. That particular support used to be a resistance. Can you see? Around that point, it was more or less like price range and did the whole thing. Before it broke it around this point, it went up. Now price has done a retest to this particular zone and price is not breaking it, it is not breaking it further. You understand? Did not go below that point, and we can see that price is now reversing back to the upside. So for us to go for that buy, let's hold on. Yes, our advice, we just hold on. If price is able to break above this part successfully, there could be a reversal back to the upside. But based on what we are seeing now in this 1 hour, you've seen that price has been dropping. So price could get to this point as a retest, then a reversal back to the downside as continuation. So even if you're expecting that price to continue the sell, this is on 1 hour, please. If you're expecting it to continue the sell on 1 hour, hold on for it to break below this part. And So based on my own bias, I would expect that Euro USD is going to sell. Why am I saying that? One, for a long time now, it has gone up. That's one. Two, we have two prominent people speaking today. That's in person of the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, is going to speak. And by 5, we're going to have President Trump speak. And whatever speech they will be giving, I want to believe is to give the USD strength. Whatever thing they are going to be giving out is to give a positive information about the US economy. You understand? So I expect it to drop. But as of now, technically, since it's yet to get to that time this morning, I will expect a pullback. So let's see what this price is going to do. Is it going to break above this point and close above it? If it's able to do that, we could have price reversing back to the upside. But if that does not happen and it respects this zone, we could have price coming back, breaking this particular point, and continues that bearish move. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. Based on what I'm saying here, price has gone up, now down, and it's a retest to this particular zone here. So if price is able to break below this part, then I expect price to sell. That's my take on Euro USD. I'm expecting a bearish move on Euro USD. Okay. Now, the next instrument is USD JPY. USD JPY. And just like we know, JPY has actually been weak for a while now. And that's why you're seeing USD up. Even based on what we're seeing on the currency strength meters of this morning, JPY is weak. And this is on daily time frame. If you look at it, on the daily time frame, I'm zooming out, look at it, price came down, and what we're seeing now is more or less like price is trying to push to the upside. And if price is pushing to the upside, that's showing the strength of USD based on this trend. This is on daily. If you're looking at it here now, can we see it? Okay, so this is on daily. If you're looking at it from that particular point, you understand? Or we could also look at it from, okay, I'm coming. Okay, from this other point. Now, this is it. Can we see? So if we're looking at it from this point, okay, so if we're looking at it from this particular point, it could be that price is going up. So there's a reversal back to the upside. Now, if you're expecting price to keep on pushing up, let's hold on for price to break above. There's a minor zone around this point. Some of time there are some minor zones around such points, and we need to hold on for price, because if you look at it, this information we are seeing here, price came down to this point as a result of news, and we can see that price has been dancing around that point for a while. It has gone back to this point. So I just want to believe this point is just a pullback. This point where price is just a pullback. Price should, okay, so around this point, I believe around this point, price could have a reversal back to the upside. So as far as price does not break below this particular zone, this is on 1 hour now. If price is unable to break below this particular zone, I'm expecting price to get rejected here and go back to the upside. So I'm expecting a bullish trend on USD JPY. But for now, we are having a pullback. You understand? It's dropping, and we saw it on the currency strength meter that USD is currently dropping strength as of now. So I just feel that's just what is happening. But after that, I'm expecting the USD, USD, the US JPY instrument to push to the upside. I'm expecting it to push to the upside. So there's a zone here, and as far as it doesn't break below this point, yes. So I'll stick with the bulls on USD JPY. I stick with the bulls. Yes, I'm pitching my tent with them. And based on what we are seeing on the daily time frame here, I'm expecting that market to go up. I'm expecting it to go up. Yes. So bullish trend, that's my take. I'm expecting a bullish move on USD JPY. So just like we can see, it has gone up and it's coming down. And yeah, this is on 15 minutes time frame. Interesting. So look at it very well. Based on what we're saying now, you will see it where price is. There's a zone around this point, even on 15 minutes. So as far as it's unable to break it, but I'm giving this down to this point just to give it a free space, you understand? Because there are times that you see price coming into a particular zone. Then after that, it's just more or less like a fake movement, you understand? So let's hold on and see. If it doesn't break into this point and it reverses back, then I'm expecting it to go up. That's my take on USD JPY. Okay. All right. So move to the next instrument, which is GBP USD. And if you're looking at GBP USD too, you discover that GBP USD on 1 hour It's actually giving us that bearish move. In fact, since beginning of the week, I'll say yes, it's been going down. GBP USD, let's look at it. Look at the way it is. It's been pushing down. Yes, it's been pushing down. It's been pushing down. Today is Friday. Now look at it. Since on Monday, price has been coming down. It's been coming down. It's been giving us that bearish move. So it's been giving us that bearish move on GBP USD. In fact, okay. So what will I still say? Based on the trend, I will expect price to still go down. That's my take on GBP USD. This is on daily time frame. And if you are looking at it from daily time frame, you discover that it's almost giving us that same move that we saw on Euro USD based on the pattern. You understand? So I'm still for me, I'm expecting it to drop. Yes, I'm expecting a bearish move. Yes. But if you look at it based on technicals, I think, yes, it did this double bottom here and you expected it pushed up, but now price is coming down. So based on what we are seeing on this particular time frame, this is daily time frame now. So if price is able to break below this part successfully, then we should expect a bearish move. And I, for one, I'm pitching my tent with the bears, yes. So based on what we're seeing on 1 hour, I'm expecting price to still drop. So this is just a minor push to the upside. And if it's pushing to the upside, as far as it does not break above this point successfully, as far as it does not go above this point successfully, we should expect price to drop. So this might just be the next point we're expecting price to get to. Okay, around this point, we could expect price to get to this point and gets rejected here. So yes, I'm expecting price to get rejected around this point. A bearish move is my take. I'm expecting a bearish move on GBP USD. Okay, all right. So move to the next instrument now, which is USD CHF. USD CHF. In fact, looking at everything both on 1 hour, 4 hours, daily time frame, it's just giving us that bearish move. All these, can you see on 4 hours, got close to that zone, the same point, and it got rejected. So, and that's what we are seeing here. So as far as it doesn't break back into this point, I'm expecting a bearish move, a continuation. I'm expecting price to break below that point. So GBP USD, it's bearish for me. That's my take on GBP USD. All right, so the next currency instrument we'll be looking at now is okay. We're looking at currency instrument, yes. So the next one is USD CHF. USD CHF. Okay, so let's look at it on daily time frame. What is CHF doing? Okay, so it's more or less like CHF is trying to push strength because it has dropped for a while, and you discover that price has actually respected this zone where it is for a while. Okay, this is where it is for a while. Price has respected this point for a while. You understand? All the while went down as if it was going to break, but came back into that same zone, did a retest here, but pushed back to the upside. Now price is ranging. This is based on what we're seeing on daily time frame. Price is ranging around that point. No, it's moving sideways. It's not giving us a definite and tight. It's not giving us a definite direction based on what we are seeing. It's not giving us that direction yet. So yes, it's just moving sideways. But let's look at it on 1 hour and see what is happening. But based on what we're seeing on 1 hour, price has gone up to this point. Okay, so this is a supply zone. So the whole move we're seeing, I expect a rejection to come in around this point. You see, around this point, there should be a rejection. There should be a rejection. I don't expect price to go further than this. But if price is able to break below this part successfully, then we could have a continuation in that line. But based on what I'm seeing, I just feel this is a pullback and I'm expecting price to push back to the upside. There's a zone around this point. And that's why we can see that price is actually struggling here. Price is struggling around this point. But if for any reason price is able to break below this part successfully, then we'll have that bearish move, a continuation of that bearish move. Yes, so that's what I feel. That's my take on this particular instrument. I feel price is going to reverse back to the upside. Okay, so that's that on USD CHF. So let's look at the last currency pair before we move to commodities. I'll be looking at AUD USD. I'll be looking at AUD USD. AUD USD. So based on what we're seeing on AUD USD, currently on 1 hour, if you look at it, you discover that, let me zoom out so we can see it. Price actually came down. It's been dropping. In fact, that's just it. It's been giving us that bearish move. Look at the way it went up. Now it's coming down. This is on daily time frame, and it's getting close to all these zones here. In fact, let's just say it's getting close to this point. So I'm expecting it to still drop, but all the same, as of this morning, you know, AUD is strong. So yes, we could have some ish around this point. This, in fact, from this particular point like this, there's a zone here. That's the way it is on daily time frame. This point that has been marked out for us is a zone. So are we expecting price to drop? Yes, I'm expecting it to drop, but mainly it should break below this part. If it's able to break below that part successfully, then I expect a continuation on that bearish move. But looking at it on 1 hour, look at what it's doing. Price came to this point now, and it's more or less like it's giving us that ranging move. And if it's giving us a ranging move around this point, then I expect us to hold on for it because it's moving sideways. It's not giving us a sharp direction. So we should hold on, wait for it to pick a direction. Once it gives us that direction, then we can follow. If it gives us the bullish direction, we'll follow bullish. If it gives us that bearish direction, then we'll go bearish with it. You understand? So that's that on the Australian dollar USD. Okay, so I think I'm done with that. Let's come to commodities now. Then after that, we'll go to indices. Then I'll give, for all of us that have been dropping some certain instrument that I want me to look at on the chart, then we begin to look at it one after the other. Okay? So yes, gold. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. So based on what we're seeing on gold now, this is on 1 hour time frame. Can you see? For all the zones that has been marked out, you discover that price respected. I think, yes, the last time we were having, was it not on Monday, we were having a conversation. I said, if it's able to break below this price, it will drop. And you see it drop. Price did a retest to that same point, if you're looking at it. And after that, it dropped further down to a new zone. It dropped further down to a new zone. To a new zone. And after that, price has gone up from there. This is on 1 hour. You discover that price has gone up from there. After that, came to around this point. Yeah. So around this point now, this new support zone, demand zone, you see that price has gone up and it's coming down. In fact, let me zoom out so we'll see some certain things. I just feel price of gold has been moving down slowly. If you're looking at the trend, based on what we are seeing on 1 hour, if you look at the trend, price of gold has been moving down slowly based on what we are seeing on the trend, giving us this lower low, lower high, and the whole likes of it in. So are we expecting this to go down again? So this is it. This is the zone on the 1 hour time frame now. This is the zone as of now, where we are saying it. This is where the zone is. So as far as price is able to break below this zone, we should expect it to come down to this point. Yes, we could expect price coming down to that point. And if it's able to break that zone successfully, then we will have a continuation in that bearish move. So this is it. But let's look at it on daily time frame. What is it doing? Still the same thing. It's been respecting the two zones, this top one and this low zone here. You understand? Price has not actually gone beyond that point. It has just been giving us that bullish and bearish move between these 2 points. This is more of an internal demand and supply zone. Price has been respected. Understand? So we'll have to hold on and see for it. That's on the long time frame to see if it's able to break outside any of the zones on the higher time frames. Then we know that that's the direction it wants to pick. So as of now, I'll say you hold on and see what gold wants to do. Is it breaking below this point? If it breaks below this point, then we should expect a bearish move. And also some of the things affecting gold, like, you know, I said, all these instruments, when it comes to commodity, they are more of what? Economic instrument. They react to economic issues. Yes, gold is paired with dollars in the market, so it also has a reaction based on dollars too. You understand? And the reaction is inverse. If dollars is increasing in strength, you see gold going down. And if dollars is losing strength, you see gold going up. That's what I'm trying to say is this. The best time to buy gold is when dollars is weak. You understand? And the best time to sell it is when we have dollars gaining strength. Okay, so that's that on gold. That's that on gold. So we'll look at another commodity instrument, which is oil. Let's go and look at oil. Let's see what oil is saying here. Oil. Yes, so looking at oil now, let me zoom out so we can see it. So based on what we are seeing on oil, yes, oil daily time frame, fine. Look at it. It respected this point, and this is the zone here, respected it and didn't break below it, and we can see that oil is going up. And based on what we are seeing, if I'm seeing it, if I'm looking at it correctly, I'm still expecting the price to push to the upside on oil. But let it just break above this point successfully. If it breaks above this point successfully on oil, then you can go for that bullish move. You can go for that bullish move on oil. Okay. All right. Okay, so sorry for that. There was just a little glitch on the network, but I'm back now. So like I said, I expect price of oil to go up. Now let's hold on and see if it's going to break above this zone, then we can go for that bullish move. This is on daily time frame. Let me come to 1 hour. So on 1 hour, I'm zooming out now. Okay. So can we see this is on 1 hour? Okay. So to make it fair, I'm coming. So yes, this zone is what I built for the daily time frame. But on 1 hour, let's look at it this point. So if it's able to break above this point on 1 hour, you can go for that bullish move, because that point where it is a supply zone. Where it is now currently is a supply zone. So price could respect that point. But as far as price is able to break above this point, then we should expect a bullish move on oil. We should expect a bullish move on oil. That's it. So I'm pitching my tent with the bulls when it comes to oil. Okay? That's that on oil. All right, so let's look at another commodity instrument. I'll look at cocoa. Let's continue with cocoa. Then from there, I'll jump to indices. Once I'm done with that, I'll begin to look at some of the instruments you want us to see. So this is cocoa. Cocoa has actually been giving us a bearish move. Yes, cocoa has been giving us a bearish move. The last time I spoke about it, I was expecting it to go up, but yes, I think still giving us that bearish move. Look at the way it dropped. So based on demand and supply zone, it's giving us a bearish move, and it's close to another zone here now. This is it. This is that zone. Let me make it tight. Let me zoom out so we can see it. Can we see? Price is actually dropping. So I expect price to drop further to this point. This is on 1 hour. I'm still expecting price of cocoa to drop further to this point. And if it drops to this point, as far as price does not respect this zone, if it's able to break below this zone, then we expect it to come further down to around this point.
Yeah, there's liquidity at that point, it is.
So I'm expecting that it should still drop further down. This is just a zone. Hello, please, please. Okay. Sorry, please. Please and please do not. I'm still teaching. So please let me continue. Don't be interjecting or giving your opinion while the teaching is still going on to distract the class. Thank you. All right. So this is the next thing. I'm expecting the price to still drop based on what we are saying here. I'm expecting it to drop to this point. Now, this is a demand zone here. If price is able to break below this point, then we are having it come further to this down part. But if it respects this zone, then price could go back to the upside. That's based on what we are saying now. But based on the check, based on everything, I'm expecting a bearish move on cocoa. That's it. A bearish move is what I'm expecting on cocoa as of this morning. But let's look at what it's going to do. Is it going to break below this point? That's what we don't know yet. But my take on it is bearish. So for those that are on a bearish move on cocoa now, I'll say good. They are good to go. The bearish move is what cocoa is on. All right, so let's go to indices, DE30. Let's go to DE30, indices. Let's see what is happening on indices. That's DE40. Okay. I'm on the higher time frame now. Now, if you look at it, yes, I remember we were discussing about this and I said, I expect it to drop and price has actually been dropping on indices. Look at it. It got to this point, respected that zone and is dropping. Slow and calm. And one of the things I want us to also understand is this. When it comes to DE40, what affects it? Kindly note that in Germany, they spend euros. So whenever there's an information coming out on euros, it affects DE40. Any information, news, or fundamentals that is coming, that affects DE40. You understand? So yes, as of this moment, technically price is respecting the zone, and that's why you're seeing it dropping. Let's look at it on 1 hour time frame. Okay, so if you look at it on 1 hour time frame, you discover that price respected that supply zone, and price has been dropping for a while. Yes, price has been dropping for a while. Quietly and cool and calmly, it's been dropping. If you look at the trend, it's been giving us that downward trend. So what are we expecting now? This is it. So price got to this point, had a pull back to the upside. Now it's dropping back to this point. So if price is able to break below this path successfully, coming. Mythos, yes. If price is able to break below this path successfully, then we should have a continuation in that bearish move. We should have a continuation of that bearish move. I expect the price of DE40 to drop on. Yes, that's my take. The bearish move, even on 1 hour, is giving us that bearish move. So I'm expecting it to drop. I'm expecting a bearish move on DE40. That's my opinion. Looking at the trend and looking at what it's been doing, it got to a higher zone, a high point on the higher time frame. And since then, it's been respecting that point all the while. Look at it, got there, got rejected. This point created a new point, came back, tested that point again, came back and tested the point, and is still expecting that point. So yes, I expect price to drop on DE40. Bearish move is what I'm expecting. I pitch my tent with the bear. So even if it's going up, it's just a minor move. I'm expecting it to still drop down. I'm still expecting it to drop to the downside. That's my take on DE40. Okay, so the next one is US30. So US30, if you look at it, has also been bearish. It's been giving us that bearish move now. It's been dropping. So, but as of now, where it is a zone. Where price is a zone. Look at it. Got to this high. This is on my 1 hour time frame. In fact, let me put it on daily time frame so we can see it. The highest it got on daily time frame is this point. Okay, so come in, let me remove some of this to make it clear. Okay, and on daily time frame. Okay, so let's go back to 1 hour. It has gotten to that high point and is coming back down. Yes, got to that high point and it's coming back down. One of the things we need to understand is this: whenever price is getting to a high for the very first time, we need to be very, very careful, because there's every possibility that price will get rejected at that point. So yes, price has gotten to this high and is being rejected back to this downside. So looking at it from what we're seeing here now, I'm expecting price to push up. I'm expecting price to push up, but that might not be the case. You know, this market, nobody truly knows the full direction. We only envisage to know what is happening. So we're expecting that this is just a pull to the upside. Price could still break below this point. But yes, if I'm to pitch my tent, I'll still pitch my tent with the bulls when it comes to indices, US indices, the German indices. Yes, I'll pitch my tent with the bulls. I expect price to go up. So this might just be a minor pullback. And this at this point now, price to push up. And if I'm expecting price to still continue that bullish move, let's hold on for it to break above this part. So if price is able to break above this particular section that has been marked out for us, I'm expecting it to keep on that bullish move. But price could get there and gets rejected and continues that bearish move. So let's hold on and see what price is going to do. Candle zero is giving us a bullish move, right? Because price has respected this zone for a while. So let's wait and see what it's going to do. Is it going to break above this zone or not? If it's able to break above it, then we should go for that bullish move. That's that on US 30. Let's look at US 100. Yes, US 100. I'm on US 100 now. Let's go to the daily time frame and see. Okay, so the daily time frame, yes, price actually got to this particular high. Now, did a pullback. In fact, at first, this was the first high. Did a pullback. Now to another high. It's still doing a pullback. So I'm expecting it to go up. Let's go to a 1 hour time frame. I'm expecting price to still push up. I'm expecting it to push up because price is already expecting this part. And let's look. We could have price doing some things like this. Understand? Maybe it's moving like this or something. Let's see around this point. Yes, price could be expecting that part. Okay, so price might not be able to break below this part. So I'm expecting it to push up. My take on US 100 is bullish. My take on it is bullish. I'm expecting it to push to the upside. This is just a minor pullback based on what we are seeing on daily time frame. It's just a minor pullback. I'm still expecting it to push to the upside. I'm expecting it to push to the upside on this particular instrument. Yes. So, yes, I'm expecting it to push to the upside on US 100. That's my take. So this is just a minor push to this side. And price is really has respected this point for a while now. Yeah, so I'm expecting it to push to the upside. My take on US 100 is bullish, even though it's on 1 hour. If we zoom out, you see it's giving us that drop, that bearish move of a plane. You see, it came down, broke it, and it's been dropping, dropped down to this point. Price is pushing back up, coming down. I'm still expecting it to push up. So highest it will do is that I feel is it can come to this point, could break down to this point, then around this point we could have price pushing back to the upside. Now you see around this point what we're doing is we buy at that's the best point for us to go for that bullish move. We could have our buy limit around this point, price coming down to this point and picking us for a buy and pushing to the upside, or we wait for it to push higher than this particular zone that we are seeing here. Is able to push above this particular zone that has been marked out for us successfully. If he's able to break above it, then yes, we'll have that continuation of that bullish move. But if that is not the case, if he respects this point or does not even push to this point, we could have the next candle coming down, breaking below this part successfully. And if it breaks below this part successfully, then we are having a bearish move to the downside. Yes, so that's just it. But my take on US 100 is bullish. That's my own bias. Let's look at US 500. Okay, so on US 500, okay, let's look at it on daily time frame. Price is also giving us that same move, gone to this high, and is respecting it by pushing down. So it's just a minor pullback. It's just a minor pullback. This is on daily time frame. Yes, based on what we're saying now, I'm expecting it to still push to the upside because price is really struggling around this point. If you look at it, struggling around this point. So I'm expecting it to push back to the upside. Yes. So on US 500 too, I'm pitching my tent with the bulls. Pitching my tent with the bulls, US 500. Okay, so let's look at US 2000. Let's look at US 2000. Yes. So on US 2000, what's it doing? Daily time frame. On the daily time frame too, got to that top, respected it, came back down. Okay, so I'm expecting it to push to the upside. I'm expecting it to push to the upside. So if we look at it, let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me just here. So let me zoom out a little. So I'm still expecting it to push up. This is on daily time frame. This is on daily time frame. I'm expecting it to push to the upside on daily time frame. This is on my daily time frame. Let it break above this point and push to the upside. Yes. So 1 hour. Let's look at it. How? So if it's able to break above this point successfully and the next candle closes bullish, we can go for that bullish move on US 2000. This is on my 1 hour time frame now. If it's able to close above this point, this particular zone here that has been marked out for us bullish, the next candle should close bullish above this point. Above this point. As far as the next candle closes bullish above this point, then I'm expecting a bullish move. I'm expecting a bullish move on US 2000. I'm expecting it to go bullish. Yes. So that's that on that. Now it's time for me to begin to answer our questions and look at some of the instruments we want us to check. Okay. Okay, so somebody is saying, I'm always confused about the zone to break. So how do you identify the zone to break? Wow. Well, the question is not the issue, but the person actually asking the question is the person that is making me surprised, because the person is an old client that I know, knows this market. So when you are talking about a zone being broken, you understand this zone. It's just like this. Okay, so I think I need to look at, let me zoom out on this particular instrument. So this is it. Let me even, okay, let's see this coming. This point. Okay, very good. So looking at it now, where is the support zone here? This is a support zone around this point. Zones are where you see price getting to and being rejected. Price cannot go further once it gets to that point. That's a zone. Now look at it. When price came to this point, it got rejected, pushed back to the upside, came back and tested it again, more or less like it did what? A double bottom. And after that, price has gone up, pushed up to the upside. You see, this point where price is now on 1 hour is also a zone. Because before now, it used to be a support, but price broke it around this point. Look at it. This is it. Price broke this zone. It used to be a support here. When price came down to this point, there was a rejection, pushed back to the upside, came down to the same point, rejection, before it now broke it around this point. And when we're talking about breaking, it means price closed below that point it used to be. Came down again. Now price is back to that point, and we're expecting it to go above. If price is this candle now is able to form above this point and closes up here, that's what we're saying, that price has broken a zone. Has broken a zone. I believe you know these things. So yeah, I'm just shocked that it's you that is asking the question. Seriously. Okay. That's just it. So when we talk about price breaking a zone, we are saying wait for the candle to close above that section. And okay, so if you want to even have more information on it, you can go on our YouTube channels. You see some of these things that we are talking about. You understand? And I believe you even joined the money market review on Wednesday. Some of this information was also given. You understand? It was also given for you to identify it. It's there. All right. So okay. Yeah. Someone is saying we should look at wheat. Okay, so let's look at wheat. Let's look at wheat. Let's look at wheat. Let's look at wheat. Coming. Okay. I'm on wheat now. So we are on wheat. And if we look at wheat, even based on what we are seeing on the daily time frame, we discover that price has gone up and is down. It's giving us one bearish move on wheat. That's what it's giving to us. If you look at it, gone up, now it's down again. It's giving us that bearish move. That's why I actually zoomed down so that we can see it. It's giving us that bearish move. It's been dropping down, 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 quiet and cool, calm, slowly, and the like. But let's look at it on 1 hour time frame. Where are we expecting price to go on 1 hour? Okay, so on wheat now, based on what I'm saying, you see that price, where price is struggling a little bit around that point. But if price is able to break below this particular session now, because you see it got up here, came back down, in fact even gapped down, and some extent it has covered over 70% of it, and I expect it to come down, gather some momentum before it goes up. So yes, I'm expecting price to drop on wheat. I'm expecting it to drop on wheat. I'm also, part of the reasons why we'll be expecting it to drop on wheat is there's been talks that the war between Russia and Ukraine, they are trying to find a way to settle it. And I was seeing some news some days ago that Zelensky wants the whole war to end. Trump is trying to bring Zelensky and Putin together in a room so that they can sit down and talk about how to settle the whole matter. And if that is successful, or if they are successful on that, yes, we should know that there will also be reaction in the market. And some of the things that it will affect is the price of wheat, because we all know that Ukraine has been the largest producer of wheat for a while. You understand? Okay. So I'm expecting the price to drop on wheat. You understand? Based on what we're saying, I'll be expecting the price to drop on wheat. Okay? So that's that on wheat. Okay. So the next instrument, let's see. Okay. Someone is saying you should look at GBP JPY. All right, let's look at GBP JPY. Let's go to GBP JPY. Let's see GBP JPY. GBP JPY. All right, I'm on GBP JPY now. So as of this morning, JPY is actually weak too. So that's why we're seeing that bullish move. And if you look at it on daily time frame, price has actually been going up. Let's zoom out. This is on daily time frame. Can we see price has been going up? Now price has gotten, in fact, I'm expecting it to still go up. But this is it. Price got to this high. When price got to this high, because if you look at it, this was the first point it got to, then the rejection came back down. Now reversed back to the upside, broke that zone a little, now again a pullback. So this is where price now got rejected on the daily time frame. So it's now pushing back to the upside. I'm expecting price to still go up on GBP JPY, but let's look at it on 1 hour and see. I'm still expecting it to go up, but this is my main deal here. Wait for it to break above this point successfully. If it's able to break above this particular section that has been marked out for us, then it's going to go up. But if it respects this point, then we could have price dropping. We could have price dropping back to the downside. But as far as it breaks above this zone, then it's expected for it to go up. That's my take on GBP JPY. Okay. Someone is saying US30 is about to break the zone. Okay, let's look at US30 and see what is happening there on US30. Okay. On 1 hour now. Okay, I'm coming. Let's see. Let me zoom in. Coming. Okay, so I'm with us. Let's hold on first. It's not a matter of US30 is about to break that zone. This is on my 1 hour time frame now, and I'm trying to look at it very well to understand. Let's wait for it to close above this section successfully first. One of the things we need to understand about technicals is this. Yes, we need a good entry point, and we also need confirmations that this is what it's doing. If it's breaking above that point, let it close above it successfully. Well, and if it closes above it, the next candle should be your verification candle, such that it should be bullish. You understand? So that's what I'm expecting on US30. Yes, I'm expecting it to go up, but I want it to close above this point. If it's able to close above this point successfully, I'm going to go bullish with US30. But if that is not the case, our advice we hold on, because price could get into this point that has been marked for us and start reversing back to the downside. So let's wait for it to break above that section successfully first. If that happens, then we can follow it. You understand? So that's my take on US30. Okay. All right. So someone says we should look at NZDCHF. Wow. NZDCHF. Okay, let's look at NZDCHF. Let's see what is happening on NZDCHF. NZDCHF. I'm on it. NZDCHF. Okay. So this is on daily time frame, and we'll discover that on daily time frame now, for a long while, price has been dropping. In fact, based on what I'm seeing here, since, okay, I'm trying to zoom out. Let's see. For a very long time. In fact, based on what we are seeing now, since I'm going back in time and I've been looking at it for a long while, NZD CHF has been giving us that bearish movement. It's just been dropping and dropping and dropping for years. Yes, based on what I'm seeing on daily time frame. Let's look at it even on monthly. Okay, I'm trying to look at it on monthly to see. Even on monthly, it's giving us that same vibe. It's been dropping. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so let's look at it on 1 hour and let's see. So if we are to follow the trend of what we've seen for years now, that price has been dropping. So we would expect that on NZD CHF price should still do what? Continue in that line. But based on where it is now, price came to this point for the very first time. This is a new zone in a while. You understand? So price is expecting that point, pushing back to the upside. That's just a pullback. So we should expect it to drop. So if you're expecting it to drop, wait for it to drop below this zone successfully. If it drops below this section that has been marked out for us successfully, then we could have a continuation on that what? Bearish move. There could be a continuation on that bearish move. That's that on NZD CHF. Okay. So yes, I'm going to call it a day with us. Thank you everybody for joining this morning market review. I really, really appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining. So let's watch out for the news that is coming out today, so we'll be able to trade it. And let's know that today is a Friday. The market closes by 10, so we should be risk cautious. See you same time next week. Bye for now.